How's it going, guys? We're still at the Geekwire conference. I'm with a really great guest, Joseph Williams. He's Pacific Northwest National Laboratory Director for Seattle.
For Seattle.
Yes, yeah. And I also saw your bio. You're also advisor of.
I used to be the tech policy advisor for Governor Inslee. Exactly.
And the current Governor Inslee and former tech advisor. And so I ran into him here, and guess what? I reference Pacific Northwest National Laboratories in my book, but we'll talk about that in a little while. So, Joseph, tell my audience about PNNL and what you guys do.
So there are 17 national labs owned by the Department of Energy, and they do science for the government. And our specialties in the Pacific Northwest National Lab are energy and environment, chemical catalysis, which makes batteries work faster, and cybersecurity. We do a bunch of other things in energy, grid optimization, and ocean sciences as well. But
yes.
Those are the primary things. So we're mostly R&D, a lot of PhDs and scientists doing cool experiments.
And also you guys have a treasure trove of trademarks, yeah?
We have an enormous patent portfolio.
Yes.
Yeah, these scientists are very busy inventing things.
And could you give us like one or two like famous? I remember writing something. Is it disc readers or something?
Well, so the lab actually was responsible for the CD-ROM.
CD-ROM, that's the one I
and when you go through the airport and you do this, that we invented that technology.
Exactly. I mean, it's so impressive. And I explained to you what was my connection with Pacific Northwest National Laboratories. I was at the Tri-Cities MBA program at Washington State, and there was a collaboration between Pacific Northwest and Laboratory and the WSU MBA program, where we helped do market research for some of the patent and ideas that were being commercialized.
Right.
I don't know if that is continuing or if you're aware if that relationship is continuing.
No, that's a big effort. With this big patent portfolio, we're always trying to commercialize it.
Yes.
We're not we're not disconnected from the mission of serving the federal government, but we are trying to, when we invent something interesting and it has commercial application, we're motivated
either to license it and
mostly license
it. Yeah. But what I was seeing and my experience was in the 2003 time. They were actually working with entrepreneurs based in the Tri-Cities who are maybe transitioning from Hanford and trying to get them set up in the Tri-Cities. And I'll tell you one thing which is interesting, and I defined it in the book. You guys had almost created almost like a Silicon Valley ecosystem there, because you're collaborating with the universities, you have the government section of that, and then we have business. And you might know this, that the Tri-Cities has one of the highest rates of engineers per capita. Yeah,
that's right.
Yes,
right.
So
not just because of the lab, but also because of the
Hanford nuclear facility.
Exactly.
So there is, I hope it's still continuing. There's probably a mini tech ecosystem in the Tri-Cities that is not talked about as much, and I was so fortunate as an MBA student to be part of that and to learn from that experience. So this is the book. Joseph gets a free book. I said I'm going to give out some goodies, so I had to, and so I'm happy to give Joseph this book, and I'm glad that PNNL was part of my part of my journey as developing as an entrepreneur. What has been your highlight for this conference?
For the Geekwire?
Yeah.
We just had a session that finished up with the senior vice president from Amazon that
Yes.
runs the device group.
Yes.
And I look forward on what they're trying to do in the device world
Yes.
is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And I personally, since I wear glasses,
Yes.
the Echo frames
Yeah.
is super interesting. to
Oh,
me.
yeah.
And I can't wait to have a personal assistant just talking to me throughout the day.
That is also exciting. I'm also kind of a geek nerd, so I'm kind of going to look forward to that. Thank you, Joseph, for giving me your time, and
My
we'll
pleasure.
definitely connect. Yeah, here you go.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for your time at PNNL.
Yes,